Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back for another edition of Dear Source. Today is going to be a little bit different because today is my daughter's birthday. And I thought I would just be in the flow and reminisce on, being a parent and what does parenting mean and what lessons our children gift us. And I think things I'm learning as a parent that I just would share. So happy birthday to my beautiful daughter. You are turning into a beautiful young woman. And it's hard to believe that about this time as I am having this go live, you were born in the middle of the day on the 25th of September. So you are a bright, beautiful light. And I am so grateful that the universe and God gave you to me. And so, thank you for allowing me to be your mom and to be one of the souls that you get to spend, hopefully, the vast majority of your life on this planet with. And so you are so loved. And I remember the moment that they placed you in my arms after being in labor for probably 24 hours and then having to have an emergency C-section. The second I saw that beautiful little face of yours, and the doctor said that you had red hair too, I just was so in love. And I remember feeling that love and knowing like that's what love is supposed to feel like. So unconditional, so perfect, and so divine. And there have not been many moments in my life where I can say like that I've felt or experienced that love. And that's what we're here to experience. And when I think about what you're teaching me is how do you stay in that unconditional state? Because it's very challenging. I even think of moments over the course of your lifetime so far where, even when it's like you want them to conform and, being not that you stop loving them, but it's like, do you have conditions on them? And how do you really allow them the space to be their own individual, even as they're growing up? Because they are a soul and they are just God's divine gift. And they're here to teach you as a parent. I'm learning every moment of every day from both of my children. And we're here to obviously teach them. And how do you do that allows their souls to become just the fullest expression of themselves and to know that God has them divinely held. Not necessarily me as their mom, but God has them perfectly held right where they're supposed to be right where they're supposed to be in that present moment. And to know that all the beautiful lessons and all the life lessons, no matter how challenging and hard, are for their soul's growth. And we don't get to prevent those as a parent because we also had to go through them. And, I always love when my children tell me you don't understand. And it's a yes and no because things are very different than when I grew up. But at the same time, honoring that they have to experience this and they have to go through this and they don't need my layered on, experience to keep them safe. They're going to have to learn through all the ups and downs. And can I just hold really divine space for them to go through the ups and downs and to hold that vibration of just pure, unconditional love through all of it. And I think that's sometimes why we're parents is that. And that's the way we're supposed to parent. And I think of this a lot because I think we have so many, how do I have a holy relationship with my children where I see them just as divine beings? And even me calling them children and me mom, all of those labels are created in order to create the specialness of our relationship in this 3D world. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging that. It's like, how do we transcend that as part of our evolutionary growth in our density of consciousness from third density consciousness to fourth density consciousness to Christ consciousness of, every person I interact with is a child of God. And can I see them as such and not label them? And I think it's an incredibly hard space for us as human beings to really hold, is seeing every other being as an emanation of God, just like we are an emanation of God. There's only one of us here. And so, when I think about each one of us and lessons I just think I'm learning on this journey, and especially from my children, is, we are all the ocean, and each relationship is just a wave in that ocean. And can we see that and embrace that and understand that, we are all interconnected in one, and we don't have to define. Like, I don't need to define every relationship because it's like I'm in loving relationship with everyone and everything. And, that's the journey we're on, and is to become aware of that, and to recognize that in any given moment and decide where we're at in relationship to that. And I will certainly attest and say that I have learned a boatload. I've learned a lot, and I will continue to learn a lot. Quite honestly, from each of my darling children, but also too, like from each human being that I have the pleasure of interacting with. I've had some incredible lessons. And I think when you can get to that stage, that's when you're really winning. When you can look at everybody as a gift to grow yourself, for you to learn, for you to return and remember who you are. Because that's all we're here to do, is just to remember our divinity and to remember the divinity in every other soul, and to see them all as children of God and to love them as children of God. And that doesn't mean, we become soft and intolerant and all those things. It's just loving them and knowing that they're right where they're supposed to be, and God has them perfectly held. And when you know that, you can then surrender and relax and trust that God's got each one of us right where he wants us. And so as I've evolved on my journey, even as your mom, these last 17 years, I will continue to evolve as your mom for many, many, many more until I am no longer required to be on this planet. But you are just the greatest gift. And the other thing I want both my children to know is just how divine and perfectly made you are. And that we have a lot of things going on in society that don't feel like that. but are lessons to return back to that. We are not broken. We are not damaged. We are special, amazing, magical beings, that we are here to shine our light bright. And that's all we're here to do. And when we need or we forget that divinity and that specialness of all the gifts that we bring, and we try to just conform to society, or maybe we don't even really understand all the great gifts that God has given us. It's just here to return us to how divine and magical and special that each one of us are. And I really want to impart that on my kids, and that when remembering that, you can also treat every other person in the same exact loving way. And so I just am so grateful. I am so blessed to be your mom on this very special day, which I love birthdays because it's the day you incarnated in on this planet. So every day is a birthday because there's always somebody having a birthday. But it's a special day to celebrate, because it's about the time that you chose to come in and be a part of this journey on this earth, which is the hardest school to go through. And so you chose in, and you chose me as your mom. And so I cry because I just am so happy to be your mom and to know you and to love you and to help you just shine your light so bright every day, always. And that's what you're here to do. And so I love you. I love you more than these words can ever express. And thank you for being one of my greatest teachers, for showing me what it means to love and to be love. Thank you for your kindness and sweet spirit, your sassy edge that I also love. I love every aspect and single part of you. And there is not one thing that ever has to be different, because you are divinely and perfectly made. And so today on your birthday, I just want you to remember that, my sweet girl. So I love you so much. Happy, happy birthday. And for those of you that tuned in, thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to just be me and to express. And I invite you into the conversation. So we'll pick up tomorrow on the next letter that I have received. And we'll just continue to engage and hopefully bring into this world more love, more Christ consciousness, and more just understanding. And as we move through this, we're here on this journey together. So thank you for those that are watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Share this with somebody that might need to hear this, and engage in the conversation. I would love to hear from every single one of you. So thank you so much, and I will see you all tomorrow.